Lastly here, the last tool, path shaping. I grew up in the country in Texas, and I lived kind of at the bottom of this gentle hill. And one of my favorite things to do when I was a kid was to go out when it was raining and just like play in the water, like make boats and stuff and let them float down to the ravines behind our house. And I always loved kind of redirecting the water, getting it to do different things. And as I think back on that, I had a couple different strategies I could have used to change the path of the water. I could have explained to the water that I wanted it to go a different direction. I could have told a heart-wrenching tale about how I was so sad the water was going here, and would you please go this direction? Or I could just dig a trench, right? And I dug a trench, right? We would never think to argue with water, but we do it with people all the time. We try and explain to them or motivate them to do things when the reality is that people and water typically follow the path of least resistance. And so when you're leading change, we start with our head and we start with directions and explaining, instead of thinking, what's the path of least resistance and how can I make my way easier than their way? Okay, this is, I think, is maybe the best idea from this whole presentation. If you weren't paying attention, I want you to pay attention right now. This is something we totally ignore so often in leadership. If we can make our way, the new way, easier than their way, people will gladly follow you because people like the path of least resistance. How do you do that? How do you shape the path? Well, you either remove or you create barriers. And this is something that was really relevant for me as a kid. I was subject to some inhumane treatment, I believe, around Halloween every year. And it's that my mom would sneak into my room every night after Halloween and steal some of my Halloween candy. Can you believe this? This is a Christian woman who would steal my candy. Her motivation, her rationalization was, hey, I took you trick-or-treating. You know, I took care of you, so I deserve some of this candy. BS, Mom. You dressed me up like a piece of buttered toast, okay? The shame I endured is worth the candy. And so you know what I did? Instead of arguing with my mom, I went to Walmart and I bought a lockbox and I locked my candy up. And she was legit ticked off that night that she came in and was like shaking this box trying to get my candy out. But you know what? I created a barrier that changed her behavior, even though she did not want her behavior to be changed. We joke about this now. We're actually fine with it. So again, remove or creating barriers can help shape the path. The second thing is to change the default settings. Okay, again, making your way easier than their way. Great example of this is organ donor rates in different countries. Germany and Austria, right next to each other in Europe, very similar cultures. In Germany, 12% of people are signed up to be organ donors. In Austria, 99% of people are signed up to be organ donors. What's the difference? Well, in Austria, you have to opt out of being an organ donor to not be an organ donor. In Germany, you have to opt in. You have to make a choice. The country just decided to change the default setting. And again, you still have exactly as much choice as you did before. You can make that choice. But by changing the default settings, they pre-wired things to go the direction they wanted it to go.